Hey, it's Jared from Impact 90, and today we're going to be looking at how to use spacers like a pro. All right, let's get started. If you go back to video 4, just if you need a review, we talked in video 4 about how to add an image, a spacer, and a text block. And today we're really going to look and focus on spacers. And to do this, we're going to look at two examples. I've created 2 pages, and we're going to look at the examples, and then we're going to talk about the difference between each page. So first, we're going to look at the example basic page 2. It's just a very simple page, a photo. We have a photo and some text, a photo and some text. And then we're going to go down here to basic page 3. Once again, we have a photo and some text, and a photo and some text. And they should be almost the exact same. You see how they look? They're basically the same. I think the other one has bigger photos, but the idea is more or less that they're the same. So now I'm going to show you a way that we can always check for good spacing. Remember I talked about this little drop down. This allows you to see the tablet, the desktop, and the smartphone. We're going to look at the smartphone, and this is going to show us if there's anything that we need to review as far as our spacers and our use of spacers. So we have the example basic page 2, the jellyfish. This would be text about the jellyfish picture, mountains, text, and mountains. Okay. Now we're going to go up here, and this is the mobile look. So this is how it would look. And this is just for our reminder, we were in the example basic page 2. Now let's go look at the example basic page 3 to see what that looks like. Here's the example basic page 3, jellyfish, text. Oh, what's this? Why is there a big space? Another text, another more, title or an intro, text, and then there's the jellyfish and there's the mountain. So now we're going to go back and let's go look at why that is, right? Because in our mind's eye, this page, yes, this photo is bigger than the example basic page 2, but the layout looks exactly the same. So we'll go back and we're going to look at the basic page 2 first. So we're at the basic page 2, and we are just going to focus on what the blocks look like. So here's our text block, here's our image block, here's another text block, and right here is the spacer. Now this page only has one spacer, but it makes all the difference, okay? And now let's go look at the basic page 2. And sometimes it's difficult to do that. We'll just click over here. So let's go look at the basic page 3. And we're going to hit edit, and we're going to see if there's a spacer. So there's no spacer here. You see how that works? And what happens is this is just one text box. This whole box right here is one text box. And there are the images, right? So what happens is we read left to right and then down. So you can think of kind of, top left to bottom right. That's the way that stuff populates when you get onto a smartphone. So I've seen great websites on desktop look like disasters on smartphones. And this is why this section is called like a pro, because amateurs will do this. Oh, it looks good on desktop. It's ready to be published. And they don't do this one little simple step, which I highly advise everyone to always do. Just say, hey, how does this look on a smartphone? Because the second you go to see what it looks like on a smartphone, you're going to notice that there is some serious errors going on the page with spacers. So what we're going to do is we're going to edit that, and we're going to make it so that way it looks better on a smartphone. So to do this is going to be very simple. We're going to use our spacer, and remember, if we click on the teardrop, and go back to video 4, if you click on the teardrop, we're going to open up all of the elements that we can use to search the content blocks and the blocks that we can use. So we're going to just add a basic spacer. And now this spacer spans the entire distance. We're going to drop the photo. We'll just drop it right under. It's going to take up the entire way. And now what we're going to do is we're just going to copy this and then delete it, and delete all the way up. Bring the cursor all the way up and say that's fine. And then right here, we are going to add text. Copy in the text. Great. And now we're going to move this text box to the left of the photo, just as it is up here. So I'm going to grab it and drop it right now. If I drop it there, it's going to take up the entire margin of the page. So I want to make sure that the line is going to only be next to the photo. And the black line will end essentially right up there at the corner. And now this is tricky. It's not as easy as it looks. Clearly I'm struggling. So I need to kind of go up. And there is no magic way. Oh, you see how the black line moved? I drop it, and there we are. I'll just move that up so it's a little bit tighter. And I'll even shift this image over because I think that looks more like the basic page 2. Make sure there's no, okay, perfect. I'm going to hit save. And now essentially this is a carbon copy of the basic page 2. And I'll check it up here, and there you go. Perfect. And that looks just like, if we go to basic page 2, just like the basic page 2. And all it was adding the spacer. So the spacer makes a massive difference. Don't know why that's not loading. Let's try to go to that again. There's the basic page 2. And there it is. It looks, now we have carbon copies. So to end this, simply your spacers and your use of spacers really will make your website. If you use them well, the spacing on the website will be phenomenal. If you use them poorly, it's very obvious, and it will be obvious to anyone on mobile because potentially you could run in. I'm just going to give an example of what we could do with some spacers on this particular page. It will be obvious to anyone on mobile, and it will also take away from the powerful use of the templates that Squarespace offers you. So you could do something like that and then drop a spacer here and drop a spacer there. We'll just do it and open it up. So now this is just to give this page a little bit more panache, give it a little bit more stilo. So we'll use a spacer again, and we'll take it, and we're going to drop right there. Perfect. And we'll drag it just so it looks just like that. And now this page just has a little bit more. We'll open it up. So then this is what the viewer will see. Now the page just has a little bit more about it. It has more of a unique look. And maybe we're like, you know what? We want that text to be on the top of the image and not on the side. So we could easily just take this text, drop it right there, move in the image like that, move this spacer like that. Now I think I'll move that like that. Perfect, equidistant. Straighten up that text. And now we have a completely different looking page. So the qualities in the spacers, and I highly advise that you, as you start to edit your site or create your site, you just play around with the spacers. In the next video, we are going to be looking at how to add a button or a call to action button. So I'll see you there. Thanks.